Oh yes, Spigen is back for the S24 Ultra, and let's start off with the Zero One. The fit is excellent, not even kidding. Just like I expected, they always nail it for the Samsungs. If you follow my channel, the fit on the iPhone version was not good. Here though, it's great. Easy to get off the phone, easy to install, and I'm so glad because this case always looks awesome. The camera bump here is very minimal though, and it does have the small rings on it. Very subtle though. This one right here is the non-MagSafe version, but of course, except for the MagSafe ring, everything is the same. I just can't get enough of that awesome 3D design. Not sure if you can see that on camera, but it's partially transparent. It gives an illusion of depth. And I think those transparent see-through designs are always cool. Clicky buttons, just like I hoped. And the material choice is fantastic. More than enough room on the S Pen cutout and also at the charge port. So it can also accommodate third-party USB-C cables. It still feels like a clear case as far as the grippiness goes, and I think it's enough. But of course, the greasier it gets throughout the day, the slippier. So you'll have to clean this one regularly. Moving on to another favorite of mine, the Enzo Aramid case. And here it's just as good. And you love to see it. I get all excited when these cases are good on other phones too, because like I always say, that's not always the case. Just look at those awesome silver aluminium buttons. They're also very clicky. Just how I like it. It goes so well with the black Aramid too. The case feels very refined and is also comfortable to hold. Snug fit, but easy to remove and install. They solved that camera bump design with this black plate. And although it looks good, I would have loved to see something more unique. Like I mentioned in my caseology video, it's pretty apparent who made these, right? The front bezel is equal on every side, which is something I love to see too. Especially now with that flat display. What's funny though is the fact that even though the inside shows a MagSafe ring, it does not have MagSafe. Not sure why they left that design in there. Maybe it was easier to produce. Pretty funny, not gonna lie. This is also one of the strongest cases I've seen over the years. You can't bend it or anything, yet it feels like it will absorb impacts and not break because it's solid. The inner feels premium too with that soft cloth inner, and so just like with the iPhone, I will definitely recommend this one. Next up, the Neo Hybrid. I wanted to check out this one on other phones too, but I didn't get the chance. They were sold out most of the time, and now that I finally have my hands on them, let's take a look. This one reminds me of the Mag Armor, with strong sides. As you can see, the sides are reinforced with this harder material. And you think that it's some sort of aluminium, right? Or metal, the way it's colored. But it's polycarbonate. No matter, because it still feels strong and it will give the impression of holding the phone itself, with the slight rounding and different material on the side. And even though it may look like two pieces, they are not meant to be taken apart, so don't try. Because of the two materials, it's also very grippy. Well done, Spigen. It features those same tiny rings around the camera lenses, just like with the Zero One, which is too little protection for my taste, but it does prevent wobbling. Pretty much equal front bezel, but the top and bottom are thicker. The buttons are soft, I'd say like a silicone type of material, even though it says TPU on their website. They are clicky too, so nothing to complain. Solid case. And even though it may require a little readjusting if you put this case on for the first time, it's still very easy to install. Then we have the Slim Armor Magfit. And this one is also new for me. First impressions, I love the camera bump design. It looks unique and classy. Finally, a decent kickstand too. I'm not sure what to think of the fact that the circle in the middle is lower than the backplate. It's sort of exactly where your natural hand position is when you're holding this phone. So it's not in the way of anything, it just feels odd. Oh, and this one does have MagSafe, which does not influence the S Pen in any way whatsoever. On or off, no impact, which is very good. This case is made of two parts, and you can get them off for cleaning or whatever. It also feels like a strong case. Even though a two-part design, it's very easy to install and get off the phone too. And the buttons, wow. These are really clicky, but also very comfortable to use. The power button also has a good texture to it. Once again though, it looks like metal, but it's polycarbonate. And this one is pretty pricey too, at 55 USD. Good case though. This is what the Tough Armor should have been. That's a nice transition to the actual Tough Armor. Most of you know I'm not a big fan of this one, and it remains unchanged. It cracks at every touch, and the kickstand is the Temu variant of the Slim Armor Magfit. But it does look good on the S24 Ultra. Looks very clean, and the camera bump is bigger than most featured yet. It's also comfortable to hold here. The buttons are a little harder to press though, and I can't help but notice that it's not properly lined up with the edge. It does have enough space on both the USB-C port and the S Pen, and even though it features a strong MagSafe ring, no interference whatsoever with the S Pen. And at $19.99, I can't say this is bad value. Still, I think there are better ones out there. You probably can't see all of them because they're all black and the background is black, but this is the Thin Fit. In my first top 5 video, this was one of my favorites, and it's still awesome. Especially now, since MagSafe isn't a big factor here anymore because it's Android. The material choice is awesome, grippy enough, yet not annoyingly over textured to achieve that. Matter of fact, it's as smooth as silk. I called it a tailored suit for your phone back then, and it still holds true. I just want a bigger camera bump on this one, and sadly they've chosen the micro rings on here too. Very clicky buttons, good cutouts, and the front bezel is actually more than enough, especially for a minimal case. It does swell up at the top and bottom, so it's not the same height on every side. The fit is very good though. And at that amazing price of $16.99, whoa, amazing value. Now this one, the Slim Armor. Let's rewind for a second. But the Slim Armor feels cheap. The sliding system that's made for cards can be broken very easily. Yes. So you think this one is crappy too, right? Wrong. I can now do what I want with this case and it's not going anywhere. I now get the impression that they actually watch my videos too. But I can't say anything bad about it now. I mean, the fit is good, clicky, although a little harder to press buttons. Yes, the camera bump has those micro rings again, but I feel like it's an overall decent case now. I'm not sure how useful it would be, but I can see its potential now. Whereas back then, I definitely could not. And it's not even that long ago. I hate the fact that it changes per release, but I love the fact that companies keep evolving. And it gives you a reason to keep watching every time a new phone releases. Just like this next one, the Optik Armor. Luckily, I have the footage from back then, because even I am sometimes double checking if I'm not going crazy. The Optik Armor is very weak, with an inner frame where the camera protection slide is positioned. So when you pinch it in, you can hear it crack and bend out of shape, which is not something you do. But yes, indeed, they changed it too. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as night and day as it may look. Now yes, it's gotten stronger, the cracking sound is definitely gone too, and it's not as loose in there as before. Still, I think it's very gimmicky, and where I first thought it was for privacy reasons, to close off the camera, it's actually just an extra protection thing, where you slide this plate in front of the camera to protect it against the elements. It clicks into place, and the texture on the back plate underneath it feels very good. Grippy. Pretty flexible case though, so nothing special. They do have clicky buttons though, which require a little more effort. And then finally, the last 3. The Cryo Armor, the Ultra Hybrid Frosted, and the Rugged Armor case. The Cryo is still not as good looking as I hoped from the images. It may be personal taste, but I think it's a underwhelming design. But also as an overall case, not as comfortable, the stripes on the side aren't grippy or comfortable, and I don't like the camera bump design because that's the lowest effort one for the Samsung S24 Ultra. The fit is pretty good though, and it does have clicky buttons as well. The Rugged Armor gives off the same energy, the underwhelming energy. Not a bad case per se, it just doesn't excel in anything. The design is mid, the camera bump has those micro rings again, The buttons are clicky, yet not easy to press, and the texture on the sides is just not good. It's also a little harder to remove from the phone, so the fit isn't great either. Last but not least, the Ultra Hybrid Frosted. The backplate does look very good with that frosted design, but it's a little bluish tinted, and I'm not sure if I like that on the titanium gray color. It's still all the same as with the Zero One though, so as far as the side goes. The camera bump looks different on first glance, but it's not. It might even be a little slippier than the Zero One, because those frosted backplates always feel a little softer. Not bad though, and this last case is still something I could recommend if you like the colors. Now, if you stay to the end, comment, let's confuse them. And let's confuse the people who haven't watched the entire video by spamming this comment. And if you aren't done watching videos, maybe you'll also like this one. Or maybe this one. Whatever you do, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.